Colony here in Florida, being joined by the one and only CCI's Colby Covington. Now, first off, happy holidays and early happy new year, but I want to know, how are you celebrating?
Just celebrating like I do every year, just being thankful for the people that keep us free here in America, the people that give us an opportunity to be able to enjoy the holidays, because, with war and sacrificing for our freedoms and protecting our freedoms, there is no holiday season. So there's people at war every day. So I'm doing what I'm doing, being thankful and appreciative and just living in the moment and, being thankful for another holiday season.
Very well said. Now, so much is going on, starting with this weekend down in Tampa. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, their rematch is going down, and it's kind of a last-minute rematch. Who do you think it favors?
Oh, it definitely favors Snake Paul. He's been training probably like a madman to fight, Tyson Fury. So he was just worrying about that. And now, Woodley, we know he has no work ethic and he's just not a hard worker. So he's going to show up on a week or two's notice just to get a paycheck, to pay off his baby mamas. He's got all that alimony to pay. So he's showing up to pay off, the alimony. And Snake Paul, the guys, Lispy McGuire, the real fight, no one cares about this rematch. This rematch is not interesting. Like, we already saw what happened the first time. Woodley was paid off to not finish Jake Paul. So this time, no one's interested. No one cares to see it. The real championship, the real headline that I'd pay any pay-per-view dollar amount for Snake Paul to do is his fight against the dictionary. I want to hear Lispy McGuire say any word with S in the dictionary. I want to see him repeat it. Let's see him say Sally. Let's see him say Susan. Let's see him say, Stacy. Let's see him. I want to see that. That's the real challenge for him. He's got a serious lisp, and the kid's a little YouTube Disney bitch.
Well, last weekend, UFC 269, Dustin Poirier, in the main event, he fought Charles Oliveira. Were you surprised by the outcome?
No, I wasn't surprised by the outcome. I know deep down inside, Dustin, he's a crybaby. He's a quitter. He used to quit in the gym. I remember, I'd go one round with him and just make him quit. He'd go crying to his drug addict coach, Mike Brown, "Oh, I can't beat Colby." And then I'd finish with Jorge next round and just finish him back to back. And I just remember how much of a quitter Dustin was. "Oh, this is too hard. Oh, I don't want to train. Oh, I don't want to do this." He just likes to train his comfort zone. He brings in amateurs so he can spar and knock out these amateurs and feel like he's some big tough guy, because he's just a gym bully. That's all Dustin Poirier is. So he brings in these big guys. He wants to act like he's the shit. But deep down inside, you can't replace the fact that you're a quitter. So that's what I figured he'd do, and that's what he did. He put his head on the mat, he quit, he gave up the choke, and he won the World MMA Award for Tap of the Year.
Well, who do you think should be next for him now?
Personally, I think I should be next. He said some things recklessly in the media. It's on site, so when you go out there and you say these words, and you try and get this street cred to act like you're some badass fighter and you're the best in the world, then you need to back up those words. You need to be a man of your words. So if you're a man of your words, you're going to come out here and you're going to defend your family. You're going to defend that Jezebel of a wife you have. You're going to defend that little kid that's a prop. You're going to be a good little bitch, but Louisiana swamp trash Dustin Poirier, he doesn't want any of this work. He just wants to talk reckless in the media when he knows he's not going to fight me and say it's on site. Well, it's on site. Anywhere, any place, anytime. Name the site, Dustin. Let's get this going. We could do it the same night. I fight Jorge Masvidal. I think that's the perfect way to do it. I'll fight them both the same night. They're both just fucking pathetic paychecks. But these aren't this isn't about the rankings title. This is just about the grudge match and used to being training partners and friends and this and that. So these fights need to be settled. These disputes can't be living on forever.
Well, if you could only fight one at a time, which one would be more satisfying to fight, given your history with both Jorge and Dustin?
Man, they're so evenly matched, Helen. It's crazy. I want to kill them both just as much as the other. So, but if it had to be one, probably the Street Judas, the fragile guy, journeyman Jorge Masvidal. The guy just talked so reckless, said so many things about me, trying to act like there's some badass Miami thug, but he don't want to come settle this business in the cage. We're gonna settle it eventually, Helen. I promise you that. I will see him in Miami one of these days. I'm the king of Miami. I'm the best fighter for Miami. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. So if I see Jorge Masvidal, he knows it's on site. He knows I'm gonna spark his ass and drop his head on the concrete. So I just want him to fight in the UFC, because then the UFC can pay his medical bills. Because if I do it in the streets, who's going to pay his medical bills?
Well, looking back at the title picture and Charles Oliveira, Conor McGregor afterwards kind of tweeted that and hinted he kind of wants Charles next. What do you make of that in that whole lightweight situation?
Yeah, it makes sense, Conor should go out there and fight for the title. You know, there's no reason for him to fight Dustin now. It's just that fight's pointless. You know, that fight's dead. So Dustin's not like a big draw or anything. So that fight makes a ton of sense. You know, Conor McGregor can heal up and he can fight that, and Dustin can reevaluate and decide if he still wants to keep fighting, because you can already see the quit in him in the interview. I don't know. With all his Kleenex. I feel bad for Las Vegas because I know they got cleaned out at the Kleenex stores. You know, Dustin had to order all those in for the post-fight pressers. So, yeah, you know, let Conor fight for the title and let's settle these big business.
Do you think he's more deserving than, say, a Beneil versus Islam?
You know, definitely. I mean, he's a former champion, 2-division champion. He accomplished some great things in the sport, brought a lot of new eyes to this sport, a lot of, you know, people that didn't watch the sport now watch it because of Conor. So, you know, he's done some good things. You know, we don't know if he still has that same drive as he used to because the guy's filthy rich. So when you're that rich, what gets you up early in the morning, you know, to drive you and to inspire you to go out there and prove the doubters wrong. So.
And looking at your recent rematch and your recent fight last month against Kamaru Usman, what's the biggest lesson that you took away from that rematch?
The biggest lesson I took is that, you know, I talked to probably 1,000 different fans, and 90% of them thought I won. They thought that I won 3 rounds to 2. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th round were clearly my rounds. The 4th round, I almost finished him. If it wasn't the bell, he was stumbling back to the corner. He wouldn't have made it 20 or 30 more seconds. I would have just poured on straights and just finished him because he was so wobbly at that point. But, you know, I feel like the first round too, I feel like I won that. The only round he clearly won was the 2nd round. You know, I kind of dropped him with a jab and he stumbled, but he gained his grip and he caught me with a flash knockdown with a hook right on the temple. But it didn't do a lot of damage. It just, it took my feet and equilibrium off. But besides that, he won 1 round. That's the only round he can claim to winning. So, you know, I take a lot of positives from it. 4th highest gate, Madison Square Garden history, you know, making history in New York. You know, I wanted to give the fans of New York a show because look at the shitty lifestyle that they have to live out there with that piece of shit, you know, Governor Nipple Rings and Clown Shoes de Blasio, man, making all these mask mandates and all these vaccine mandates just to go to restaurants. So I'm glad I was able to bring normalcy and entertainment back to the Garden and you know, the 4th highest gate in Madison Square Garden history.
Congratulations on that. Now, a couple weeks before your fight and your rematch against Kamaru, I asked him where he ranks you. Where do you rank Colby's skill set amongst those that you've already fought?
Oh, he's definitely up there. I would, you know, I'm no hater. I give props where props is due. I think probably Colby is I would put him in the top 15 welterweights of all time.
I'm curious to know, where do you rank Kamaru out of all the top welterweights of all time?
You know, I'm 2-0 against Kamaru Usman as far as I'm concerned. The first fight, I was cheated by a ref. The second fight, I was cheated by 3 judges that had a biased opinion. So, you know, I'm the best welterweight of all time. Nobody can stop me. In 2022, they're going to see Helen. Trust me. They haven't seen nothing yet. They haven't seen the best of me. I'm still getting better every single day. I promise you what I have in store for 2022 is going to be scary.
Now, is your motivation more to beat Kamaru in a trilogy or to win the title?
It's definitely to beat Marty Fake Newsman in the trilogy. I mean, the first fight, there's so much controversy with the ref stopping the fight when I kicked him in the liver and just, you know, the foul, the cheating in the fight, the poking the eye, the holding the fence, the hitting me in the back of the head when you warn backstage not to hit in the back of the head, and it should have been a point taken away. So, you know, there's so much controversy from the first fight with the ref, so much controversy the second fights with the judges and their opinions. So this trilogy needs to happen, man. We're the 2 best fighters in the world. No one's going to come close to being on our level. So we need to keep running this back. This is a fight that should be a best-of-7 series, just like the NBA championship. You know, when you have the 2 best teams from each conference, you know, we're the 2 best from each conference. We need to fight 7 times. I think that will really tell who the best fighter in the world. I think I'll beat him 5-2.
Well, speaking of some of the best fighters in the world, a lot of fans love to hear your predictions. And next month, a huge fight goes down between Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane. Who do you think takes that?
You know, that's a tough one. I think Cyril will get him. I think that with his footwork and the way he moves around and kickboxes, and he's real efficient with his energy. He's not like looking to load up and knock you out like Francis is. I think he'll wear Francis out. We've seen in the past that Francis has that quit in him. You know, the first Stipe fight, he had a lot of quit in him, and he put his head down, and you could just see he gassed out. You know, all that muscle, you need a lot of oxygen to get to that muscle. So, my official prediction, I think Gane gets the heavyweight title, and I'm going to make all your bank accounts great again. So go over to mybookie.ag and use promo code Colby. Get a 100% deposit bonus, and you already know I got the best picks. I'm like at least 9 for 10 in the last 10 picks. So I'm trying to make all your bank accounts great again out there, baby.
Now, Jon Jones, your former roommate, right? Someone that you know really well, he tweeted or posted on Instagram today that in 2022, he's going to become a champ. And a lot of people have been waiting for his heavyweight debut. So do you think he can be heavyweight champ?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't even know if he can beat up his wife still. I mean, the guy's pathetic. I mean, he's just grasping at straws now. The guy, how is he still even in the pound for pound rankings? Like, who is doing these? See, this is these media that's never fought, never done anything, accomplished anything in their life. They're nothing more than clickbait merchants and Cheeto eating dorks, and they should be working at Comic-Con. But the moral of the story is the only person Jon Jones has beaten like the last 3 or 4 years is his wife. That's the only person he's beat. How is he still credible to be a pound for pound fighter? So, the guy's washed up. And like Dana White said it himself, Uncle Dana, he said he's the biggest waste of talent in the history of the UFC. So, I don't think we should see that guy fight again. I think that he's cognitively declined. All the partying, all the drugs, all the steroids. The guy's a mess. He needs to get his life together before he ever even thinks about fighting again.
Well, lastly, on Twitter, I feel like there's a photo of you and Dillon Danis kind of making its rounds recently. I believe it's probably taken a couple months ago, but can you kind of explain the backstory of that?
Yeah, I was down in Miami. I was hanging out with all my fine South Beach mamacitas. We were at Club Live in Fountain Blue. Shout out to Dave Grutman. He's the man. He's the Miami promoter, like not promoter, but owner, boss, CEO, and providing the best entertainment, food, and everything. So thanks to Grumman. But I was in his establishment at VIP, and somehow Danis came down there, and we're at the same table together. So that's how that picture went out, and he wanted to get a picture. He asked me for a picture, so I wasn't going to turn down a fan's picture.
He had to wait in line too?
Of course, there's always a big wait. America's champ, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. All the fine mamacitas are waiting to get pictures, so I gotta handle them first, and all the fanboys out there, all the people that support America, love our troops, our first responders. So, all the people that actually fought for this country and are true patriots.
And for all the fans who can't wait to watch your return into the octagon, what would you like to let them know?
I would like to let you all know, first quarter of 2022, I'm coming for their heads. It's going to be very, very violent. My people have been in touch with the people over at the UFC, Hunter Campbell, Dana White, so we're only going to bring you the biggest and best fights. Last time the UFC came to me, it was about headlining the Garden, the biggest arena in the world. And we sold almost 1 million pay-per-views. That's me. That's me, the one that people want to see. So, I can't wait to put on the biggest and best fights. And first quarter of 2022, we're coming back stronger than ever. The best is yet to come.